Good morning. This is interesting because Jack says, well, why don't you show everybody watering your orchids? It's Wednesday morning. It's about 5 after 9. I got a few things organized, but I want to start watering. I'll tell you some funny stories when we get going. So the first thing I do is get out my water schedule. And of course, I never looked at it too seriously before, but I'm on week 4. So week 4, and I have a little piece of paper where I scrub down what week I'm on. So I do little lines till I got 5, and then I add one more because it's a 6-week water schedule. And then I always know where I am, and according to this, I just put the 4th line. So week 4 of the watering schedule is Epsom salts and Kelly Magic, which I always use. And I noticed a mistake on my water schedule, but it doesn't matter because it's a good thing. So I add a 1/4 teaspoon of Kelly Magic to a gallon of water. Now, this sink holds about 4 gallons, 4 to 5. My older sink held 5, but I'd say it holds at least 4 gallons. And so that works out to a teaspoon of Epsom salts and a teaspoon of Kelly Magic. But I did put down a tablespoon, soak 10 to 15 minutes, and 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt to a gallon of water. And the Epsom salts will remove the salt deposits from the pot roots medium, making a bushier, healthier plant, and increases chlorophyll, deters pests, and helps balance the pH. So it's something I've always used, and I've always gone on the left side, but I did put 1 tablespoon, which actually in my bigger sink, I often do. But if you're a little cautious, you can stick to the teaspoon, and each will be fine. But this time of the year, in the summer quite often, I might use a teaspoon, but this time of the year it does help to, I found, give them that tablespoon in the sink to encourage flowering, but I didn't explain that very good in my water schedule. So in this sink, which is almost full, I put 1 tablespoon of just regular Epsom salt, and I put my Kelly Magic in a little soap bottle because it's so much easier to put in. And then over here, because I have 4 traffic cones, I actually have 5, but I put the 4 in the bathtub. And it's a very small, awkward bathtub, and so I have to lift them up and get them in there, and I take this jug with a 1/4 of a teaspoon of Kelly Magic and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of Epsom salts, and I have it all ready to go to take in there because I do I pour it on, let them wait while I'm here doing other things. Now I have a tin measuring cup because when I did the Epsom salts, I always boil a little water, and I put the Epsom salts in the measuring cup and stir it. Same with my fertilizers. If you've got granular, if you want it to actually dissolve properly, you're going to have to add some warmish water and stir it good before you put it in your sink or your bowl or whatever you're using. So this is how I start my morning. I usually always do the west window in the kitchen first, and then I'll move on to the 2 north ones, and then I finish with the west one in there. Now, this is the one I call the plastic bottle experiment, and I have a little plastic cup, and so what I do is make sure I pour lots in here. Now this one has 2 spikes coming. something I noticed I have to show you too. The other thing that, since I switched to the glass, or we have brighter lights in here, I don't know, but I'm thinking a lot of it is the glass, and just because the roots are getting more chlorophyll because they can get light. I have not only double spikes coming, I have branches. I've never had, I've had 1 or 2 double spikes, and I've never had them branching. Or maybe it's just because I've had them for so darn long, they thought they better reward me. Now, when I get a few things of water, I let that sit, and I always check my leaves. If you just kind of lightly feel up the edge, you can see if there's any scale. Scale is the only real problem I get. So, and if you see anything shiny on the leaves, check it out. And then I usually take a little paper towel and I damp it in whatever is in my water that I'm using. And I just carefully wipe the edges. Now, if I know there's scale and I never seen any, and I only do this where they're dirty or I see something I want to clean. But I keep a paper towel damp, ready to go. And if I do find some scale, because I do sometimes, I'm going to put this over here so the water goes that way, then I definitely clean that plant and throw it in the paper in the compost, because it is recyclable. So that's a good thing. So we got this one soaking a bit. Put that there. Now, oh yeah, this is a plastic bottle experiment. And this one has one nice spike coming. And I'm just wondering if I'm going to get any branching. So as this grows, I'll be able to adjust this as we go. But anyway, this is how I start out. And because I have a fairly good light here, I can check for bugs and such. I have to dump quite a few times, and yes, I just get them in the top, I get them on the leaves, and I take care of that with a piece of paper towel, or I blow in there. That's what I do sometimes, because this one, if I want to put it in both sides, this one's coming this way, and it's harder to pour. So, we're pretty well letting them soak a little bit, and I'll just line up another one. I'll just come and get it. Oh boy. I'll put this here. So this is sort of how it goes in the morning. So, one more should do it. And then it's dripping water. So now some of mine, I didn't start out putting a hole in the bottom for drainage. So the holes, the ones I don't have a hole in the drain, I just tip them like this. And I tip my hand at the front. And I just let the weight of it, because some of these have some hunks of lava rock in the bottom, which makes them a little heavier. And I just tip them. Now, if you've got a glass vase that you don't have any holes, and you should have, I think, but if you don't, because you couldn't get one, it's just a small one, you can just tip them. And I think the sunlight shining on the glass helps the humidity kind of do its thing in there. And some people ask about algae. Like even all summer I get a little bit of green growing, but nothing more looks like moss than anything else. Now if there was a lot, it's very easy just to dump them out and clean the glass up and put them back in, but I haven't had that problem. So that was ready to go back in the window. This one I'll give a few more. And while it's sitting in here, the water's not draining out the bottom, so the bottom half of these big ones is soaking the whole time. But the top only gets about that much. I never do it much longer. And then up we go. And then this one's got some big lava rocks in the bottom. And it doesn't have a hole. And this is where you have to watch your flowers that are coming. There we go. Okay, so what I do then is I get a dry paper towel and I kind of make a little point and I go into the very top center so that I don't have water sitting in there. And I always blow in there too, so I don't see any sign of bugs I should be looking for. So these ones are done, and I'll start the new one. There we go. And I'll be back in a minute and we'll continue with this when I get a few more organized. There we go. I think we're organized. So we'll put some more water in this one. This is the one, it has 2 spikes. It had 2 flowers on it all summer. Orangey, yellowy, kind of thick and luscious looking flowers. Very beautiful. And so I did leave the spike on, and there's 2 flowers, and that's kind of how it flowered all summer. But it does have 2 nice new spikes. So I start soaking that one. And water day is kind of nice because you get to really have a good look. Now sometimes you've got your schedule, what all the stuff you have to do is big and you have to just rush. And sometimes you can take it easy. So yeah, we're retired. I think we both are busier than we ever were. Oh, well. Okay, I'm going to get all these in. You know, our morning starts at about 5:30. Sometimes a little earlier. And we both get up at the same time. We always get up together, always. Even if one of us is up earlier, we both get up earlier. If we're late, we kind of just do it together. And we pull back the bed and make it, and then he's off to his washroom. And before I go and get showered, I put on a big winter coat this time of the year. And because our chickens just have a little roost, they go up their little walkway, and they're just in a little house at the top, and it has a door where they go in and out. And at night, about 9:30, I ran out and closed that door because they stay warm and cuddly in there. Nothing can get in after them, and they're safer. So I do that, and then first thing in the morning at 5:30, I run out and just open that little door. It takes a minute, and it's funny because Maggie, she's my watchdog. Morning and night, if I go out to the chickens, she comes because there could be bears. We have had some big bear poop around, and I'm telling you, it was so big, and I thought, oh my goodness, I hope I don't run into that. But I do put all the food away at night and put it in the shed in a tin garbage can so that it's not encouraging mice and things, and it's been working. So that's what I do. And so in the morning I also have to go get their food out and put it down in their run. And so I do that every morning before I come in and have my shower. Yeah. So there, that's a good soap for these. This, of course, is the little one of my last ones I potted because I didn't have bark. And I left half the moss on it because it came all in that moss, but it fell violet eye. So it's doing beautiful. And thank you very much for that beautiful flower. So I'm so spoiled. Georgia surprised me with that beautiful flower. And also I have the one I call Georgia Pearl, which went a long time ago from her. So, but it's doing beautiful. It's got really nice long roots, and I'm just letting it do that. But the growing is thick right now, and this isn't, you know, they're flowering, but they're also growing roots. So this is a good thing. And do you know, even though this is a late one I got in the fall, and it had 2 spikes, I see a tiny little spike coming. I'm always peeking. Do you guys do that? See if anything's happening down in there? So this one has a hole in the bottom, which is good. So I may be a little longer this morning than normal. It usually takes me about an hour and a half to do them all. Some of these roots, I think they're just growing like crazy. There is one, we haven't got to it yet, but it didn't have a lot of roots on the top. Like this one didn't either, and I put it's actually half wine corks. But they're starting to go down now. They're really doing quite good. So this is their watering. And I put them all there. Sometimes, even though they're here, this is a really good drain rack. And the water runs off real good, and it's got nice high edges. So quite often, if I have working on some, I still go back and I'll add water up in the drain rack. So we're doing good. And we'll just let them drain a bit. And I want to show you something. Now, for those who have been watching me quite a while, I had 2 orchids in a red triangle pot way back. And they weren't doing very well. They started doing well, but then they started not, and I took them both out. I put this one in glass. I called them twins. They were the same flowers. They looked exactly the same. I put one in glass, which is this one. And they weren't doing that well. That's why I took them out of that pot. So I put one in glass, and this is it, and how it's doing. Now, wait till I show you the other one. I put it here. This one, I put in this pot, which is an old pot. Yes, it was made, but I grew lots of orchids in this 10, 15 years ago. But look at it's lost leaves. It's just looking terrible. I am going to have to take it out of this pot because they used to be very similar. This one's only got 3 leaves, and those leaves do not look good. So I just wanted to show you that. Very interesting thing. So I try to make sure I also get any roots that are hanging out of the pot. I like to make sure I give them a little water too, just to make sure that that they're not drying out too much. So I'm ready to tip these off and put them back. And I'm also ready to take a jug to the one in the shower. So I'm going to take you in to see that in a minute. And I'm just going to put these back, and we'll be right back. So here we are in the bathroom. Our bathrooms are very small. That's one of my paintings I painted on glass. I don't know how well it shows up. Also got a painting I did way up there. I did that one on tile a long time ago. Nothing like showing you my bathroom. Anyway, here's the important part. There we go. And I have the light on, but this is how it is. So I keep this jug in here. And this is the one with the keiki that I saved the plant. It broke right off. All the leaves fell off. And I'm getting this spike. I loved this one. And I just pour lots of water through. And then, see all these grooves? I make sure I get them. And I'm pretty liberal when I pour from this jug. And I fill this jug a second time because it needs a real good soak with these because they're so much longer. I do have a spike coming on both of these. So, okay. So we're going to head back out. Hallway. Okay. Here we go. We're back. I got to put this in here. So here we are. This is how the sink looks from close up. I got 2 more ready to go, and this one here ready to go. So we've almost finished this window. So let's just put here. This is interesting. There's lots of walking around done, so I don't have to go to the gym, that's for sure. We do our walk around the block, and we do our walk so that every morning after breakfast, we go into the pause. We call it the pause. It's the patio, was an outdoor patio with a tin roof, and we changed it into an indoor one because we just didn't use it. It's on the cooler side of the house, and I don't know, we didn't use it, and we sure needed the extra room because we were living just upstairs, and Mom had the whole basement, which is now for company. So anyway, so I come and make breakfast, and then every morning after breakfast we go in the pause and we watch our Jesus devotional. I'm telling you, in moments of stress, those morning videos have saved my life. At first, I just watched, and Jack never, and then he really liked them. Now, all 3 of us, even Maggie, go in every morning, and we watch the morning Jesus devotional on YouTube, and they're so good. Oh, they're very, very good, and then we start our day, whether we have to shop or whatever we do, and make sure we get a walk in sometime in the day. So there, that one's done. Now we were at the thrift store, and I saw this lamp, and it was terracotta, and it was many years ago. This plant's been in this a long time. I have changed it, I think, only once. I think it's alive because it's just the bark stays good and dry, and so many roots are up above. And I did sink it down, and I did change it once because the monopodial stem was getting so long, and it has so many roots here, so I make sure I get them really good. But it was a lamp, and the top part here was the base of the lamp, and there was a hole in the bottom already, which was where the lamp came out. So Jack drilled some holes, and I like it. It has that kind of Asian look. So this is how I water every morning when you're not here, and this is what happens. but except I'm not talking. That I hardly ever talk because we don't see that many people. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing a video and I'm talking so much. So you guys are my good company, and I appreciate your thumbs up. You've been so good to me, even when I haven't been doing too many videos, but I am going to try. Jack says, what are you doing with your watering? And I said, well, I don't know, it's just watering. I don't think anybody wants to watch. But anyway, so here we are, we're doing it. So I could do more of what we're doing in the daytime, and we'll see how it goes. Winter, of course, we're in more, because when we were doing our devotional, it was pouring rain outside. We have had no snow on the ground yet, but I noticed this morning there's snow on the top of all the hills, and we are surrounded all around us by mountains and mountain passes, and there. So I think we're doing pretty good. I'm going to put these back. Now, I brought out the two I got from Donna, and they only get distilled water. That's one thing it says about them. So I will sit them there because we do have a countertop distiller just here. And it's really good. We used to have a big one. It was noisy. This is so nice, and it's so quick, and it wasn't that expensive. And so whenever we need distilled water, we have it. But we have our coffee, tea, cooking just from our tap. Our water isn't too bad here in Salmon Arm. So anyway, I'm just going to say goodbye for 1 minute here while I load up the sink. There we are. I ran in and I filled the jug and dumped another load in the shower. So that's the last water the ones in the shower get. That's the one thing about the traffic cones. I used to have a few more. And if anybody lives near me and wants to try a traffic cone, I think I have some out in that. I think I have 1 or 2 out in that. And you're welcome to have them. So I'm going to show you a little more about them. So there. These are my last 2 from this window, where most of the orchids are in that window. And I've actually started on the north window. Except for this one. Now this traffic cone, now as you can see, this one is a little smaller. It wasn't quite as tall, and the stand wasn't as tall, so I always do it in the sink. I have some stands, and so if you're listening and you're Salmon Arm, you want, so they were the red traffic cones, and I painted the pictures. And this one I always do in the sink because it is a little shorter. Whoops. I don't like water flowing that way, if I can help it. Yeah. Okay. So some of these have real long roots, so I make sure I get them. The pot actually only goes this far. Then there's a wire drains, and for the rest of it, it's just drains. It's very big wires, so they drain very freely, these traffic cones. And I think that's why they've always done so good. And yes, they're a little more work. And the 2 that I have, if I had room, I'd put another plant in them. But not an orchid, or a fern or something, even a peace lily. You can just line it. It's still going to drain, and where the holes are, you can line it. So there's, things you can do. But I really don't have any more room for more plants. Although I do look. Oh boy. I've been looking at the orchids, but they haven't had any as nice as mine. But Rosemary and Kamuk, they have bigger stores and she sees more interesting things. But here, they just want an arm and a leg for, do you know, I guess I've always taken these cranberry pills from years ago for different reasons. And out of habit, I kept taking them. I was out and I went to buy a bottle at the drugstore. $42, and you shake it and it feels like there's nothing in there. I thought, no, I'm not doing that. And do you know what I did? For way cheaper, I bought a bag of organic cranberries. I mean, they grow right here on the coast. And I put a few on my salad every night. I have bean sprouts. You can probably see they're there. And our fresh vegetable, by the time they come from goodness knows where, and then we get them and they sit in the store. Sprouts are so nutritious, and I used to do them when I was in my 20s. I was into that, but I got back into it, and we're both liking them more than the vegetables. And we make a sprout salad and put tomatoes on and different things. Here at least you can get greenhouse tomatoes, but you can't get other vegetables here. And broccoli sprouts, for say, are so nutritious. And yes, I freeze my own when I have them, but we are just really liking the sprouts, and the more I read about them, the more happy my, excuse me, and I've had issues in the past with things, and sprouts seems to solve everything, so they're a good thing. And I had 2 jars, and now I got 4 that I keep going under the light. And 3 to 5 days, you got some going, so I've got it so I don't run out, because I was running out. Okay, these ones are done and ready to be put away. So I'll just run this one over here. Drip, drip, drip on the floor, you guys. I always end up having to mop when I'm done. That's for sure. I like this one. If you see, this was crystal, heavy got crystal. And Jack did such a good job of it. And he even put a hole up the center. Oh, he didn't on this one. Oh, that was the other one. I have another one, so I can tip it a little bit. That last little bit of water, just it's a low hole. It's a low hole. But I really like it, and it's happy in here. So let's put this one back. There. And the traffic cone is the last one from this window, and then I have these lined up. So I'm going to put it up here to drain before it goes back. Okay, and then here we go. This is Georgia Pearl, the other one I got from Georgia. And it's doing good now, and it's in spike. This is what I do every watering day. Lately we've been doing our walk, which takes about a half an hour. We do our walk in the afternoon. The weather's been nicer after lunch. And then after the walk, we're each on our own. I do my thing, which I actually got a good start on my bear, and I'm happy with it. Coming good. I'm going to do the water next. So I might show you. I might if I get around to it. Okay, so we'll get these ones watering. This is one that was almost on. It was doing terrible, but it looks like it's perking up. It had next to no roots, and they were only just this high. And it's even spiking. Yes, things are good. We don't have to buy poinsettias. I used to, but not anymore. You know, things are so expensive, and we cut corners. a lot. We're real good at it. We've always did. Both of us grew up that way, where I shopped at the Salvation Army in New Westminster, Army Navy in New Westminster. I used to go there for the best deals. And Eaton's had a sale place in the basement down on Columbia Street. Now I don't think I'd want to go there, but then it was, actually it wasn't a busy place when I grew up there. But we grew up and Dad just worked in a mill and Mom wasn't working, so I mean, we lived in a little old wartime house, and they rose it later when I was a teenager and put a basement under it, and I had a basement down there. But with all the wet and the terrible weather they get on the coast, what I don't miss, it's just that the basement, Dad put tile on the floor, and he did it all in a tongue and groove knotty pine. It was very nice. I was a lucky girl. I had my own, when I was an older teenager, I had a nice basement. Except the moisture came up from the ground and all this white crusty stuff came up in between the tiles. And as you know, I got lupus in 1996, the highest test for lupus in the whole interior. And sometimes I think it was from that, living in that like moldy, moist. So I don't know. That's why in 1996, when I was diagnosed, I went gluten-free. And now I'm grain-free, and I just have almond flour, chickweed flour, coconut flour, and I keep it to that. And I was always strict, because when your health was real bad and you're trying to improve, you don't think twice about being strict to yourself. I'm used to it. Yeah. So I'm going to put all these away. Oh, I've got one more. I got this one. This is actually one of my oldest orchids that I almost lost at one time. And it did come back. I do want to put it in glass. It is in spike. It had a beautiful big purple spike last year. And it's doing good, but you know, with the glass, the roots don't stick. With these pots, they stick on the sides to little parts where there's no porcelain. And I think I'm just going to take it out. It is doing better. The leaves are healthy and it's spiking, but I think I'm going to put, I got a glass vase downstairs I like. It's nothing fancy, but I think that's what it's going to go in. So I'm not sure when I'm going to do that. Probably when it's through spiking. And I don't, because I know when I do it, because of the roots are going to take a shock because they're stuck to this pot. And that's what I like about the glass. It just, they never stick. So I'm going to deal with all these, put them back. I've almost got the one north window done, and I will be back. Wow, here we go. I ran around and took the first two orchids out of the bathtub and put the second two in. And can you see these flowers here? They are growing outside in the winter, and we're expected to get snow, maybe freezing. We've been very close to freezing, so I went and picked them and stuck them in there. I don't know why they have to always bloom so late, but it is nice. Oh, anyway, I finished the two north windows, and these Oncidiums are in the west window, and we're at Just about 10:30, so we're doing good. We started just after 9. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water. I've been talking too much. Okay. They look like little angels, everybody says. They are very pretty close up. Excuse me. Okay. Now this pot is a little unusually shaped, but I like it. And it's a nice balance for all the weight on the top. And I make sure I soak it pretty good. So what happens with this one is it's hard to get the water to go right in this far. So when I've got it in here, I carefully tip it a bit. And then it waters better. There. I didn't stake these. I probably should have. I still could, actually. I was kind of liking it hanging, but I could stake it. This one here is starting to come out now. So then I just drain it here. And then I have the dendrobium that's so pretty. Oh, it's just like Christmas when you're watching something coming out and fly. You know, it's just as exciting as the day you went and brought them and brought them home. Watching them flower, and you've done it, and you get to enjoy them. I mean, no flowers last as long as orchids that I've had in the house. So I just stick them here. And this one I'm so excited because it had such a beautiful yellow flower, and so far we got a really nice spike coming. And I haven't, I'm not sure, this is the first time I've ever had one that I've flowered myself, my first oncidiums. So I keep peeking down the leaves. And you never know what will surprise you. So anyway, by the time this is finished, all the water I put into my gray watering can, and I water the house plants. It doesn't get wasted. Now, sometimes, not this, there's a little flower, not this time, but sometimes I empty the sink and I will, not all the time, but once in a while, just so, and then fill it up again with fresh water. I sort of judge by how it looks. But they've all been bathing together for so many years, I haven't had any trouble. There. I will be so excited, boy, you'll hear me just holler. Even though I'm not doing a video, you'll hear me when this opens. Oh boy. And this one's got 2 nice spikes on it. I think this one was very similar to the first one I did, but it was scented. It smelled chocolatey. So that's exciting. So these were the ones that flowered last time, and now we're flowering on this one. And then it'll have to set out a new one. I may have to go to a bigger pot for this one. That's what I'm thinking. So anyway, the oncidiums are the last. We'll set that over there. And before I clean up, I'll show you my bear painting. There. These guys can soak, and we're doing good because we usually like to start making lunch about 11:30. So we're doing really good. Better than I thought. I always thought it to do a whole water. Mind you, I ran and did a few from the north window. So I'll be back and I'll be showing you my bear. Okay. Okay, here we are in my painting room. I don't know if you can see this up here. Jack made this lamp that you can see. It has a little thing so I can have it on or off, and then it goes on and a fan comes on and I can have it high, low, medium. I can dry my painting faster. I have a fan up here too that I use in the summertime, but nice. And so I can turn the fan off, and then I got the light. I can, instead of having it on high, I can put it to medium. And then he put a little screwdriver handle on here so that I can move it around. And I can get it where I want it, and I can get light where I'm painting. He's so good. He's so good. I forgot to show you that. Yeah, so anyway, I usually don't have time to paint till the afternoon. So it's usually 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon, because by the time we do our morning things, we get home, we visit Mom, you know, we go out and do what you got to do. And then it's lunchtime, and then after lunch, right away, we go for our walk. And then when the walk is done, I finish the lunch dishes, and then it's both of our times just to do whatever we want. And he goes to his shop. He's always working on something. And so I paint. Now, I still got a lot of glazing to do on the background, the trees, and the glazing really brings the highlight. So you put white on, and then you use glazing liquid, and you can just use water too. You can just use water and any paint you got. But I also really like these from Golden, and there's different colors, and you don't need a lot, and you just put them where you want it, and they really are nice for finishing details, and it's kind of what I'm getting to. So now I changed, let's see if I can find it. I changed this painting, and because there was a little baby bear here, and I took the baby bear out, and I put these trees, and they're going to look real nice when I'm finished. And I'm trying to get more of this look, but still keep the water like this and the fish, and so nothing's done. So yesterday I basically started to get the form of the bear and the fish, and I think this afternoon I'll probably highlight the trees, glaze the trees, and there will be a broken tree. I haven't decided what I'm doing here. I have to get my highlights in on the background where the sun's shining. Seems to be going pretty well right on the face and on the face of the rocks coming in this way. So the next is I have to put a base color down for water, and then put a whole bunch of rocks in, a little bit of a bare shadow color, and then I'll start putting, after rocks are in, I'll start putting the water in layers. So that's what I do, and this is my happy room. I love it. I'm spoiled. And it's nice to be spoiled when you get to be 77 and you finally feel spoiled. You know, not everything goes your way. You know what life is like. You've always got something you have to deal with, and you just got to deal with it and don't think about it then, and then think positive about all the wonderful things. And we're happy. own little world. I guess this is our own little world. And I hope you're happy in your little world. And share some of that love and happiness around for those that really need it. You know, sometimes, like we have a friend, she's had 2 hip replacements. She's 10 years younger than me. And she's been through a lot. And she's such a nice person, but she got so sick and then couldn't get rid of it. And that's when someone, you know, they really need your love and affection, I'll tell you, because, you know, I guess when you're not feeling well, you really see who really cares for you. And you really got to be thankful they're there. Anyway, that's my little bit of life advice. And take care. Hope you liked the watering video. Bye for now.